am more influenced by Punjab than any other place in India. I would just like to say that.
Yeah, they are
It may be
vibrant.
through the movies or music or anything.
To some extent, movies have also, played that role. But in fact, Punjabis are very lively, and of course, they live their life to the fullest. They enjoy to the fullest. I think, whatever they do, they do it to the maximum extent. There is no limit for them. This is their positive aspect, you may say, and this is their negative point also.
Those kind of movies that we have seen, Urta Punjab, and a lot of heard about immigration. People are not getting
Yeah.
well. There's not the right amount of jobs that there needs to be in place. So people go to Canada and other foreign countries for that matter itself.
These are identified by Canada. Punjabis
Yeah,
mean Canada.
somewhat it is.
Hmm.
Somewhat it is.
Yeah, synonym for the Punjabis, Canada. Cousins, if one is gone, another would follow the same pattern. He has gone, I also want to go. Similar is with the heads of the family. His son has gone, his daughter has gone. Now, I will sell my property, my land, some part. You are on your PC?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm
Okay,
guessing that
nice.
you're on your mobile phone.
Yeah. Every time I used to have these kinds of sessions on my mobile phones only.
Okay. Mobile phone is good, but I don't have any place to keep my mobile phone. That's why I use my laptop.
Nice, nice. I have procured a stand to fix up my mobile. And in my case, I do have pieces at home, but these are most of the time with my children only. So whenever my turn comes, I always find I have to work on my phone only.
So are you using a tripod or you are using a simple
Yeah,
stand?
no. I use a tripod. This is a very workable kind of tripod. I use it, yeah, most of the time I use this tripod only. I have
Not a
one more
very
stand,
fancy tripod.
not very fancy, because I'm just a beginner and I started everything from the very beginning, very basics. I'm not a professional person so far as this recording and editing kind of stuff is concerned.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, let's begin the conversation.
Yeah, let's begin the conversation. But Kunal, I want to make one thing clear to you. The weather on my side is not in my favor. In my favor, in the sense, it's not bad. It's very good.
Mhm.
In this scorching heat, the weather has taken a turn all of a sudden, and it has been raining for the last 3 hours. Now it has just taken a
Okay,
pause, and rather we face the hailstorm also. So we are at the moment,
okay,
the power has gone off, and I'm working on the inverter only, and I can't
okay.
turn on my fan because it's going to produce in that way lots of
It's
noise.
going to take a lot of electricity from the
No,
inverter.
it's not electricity is, of course, that is one factor, because for the last 3 hours, everything at home is working on, majority of the things are working on this backup, power backup only.
Okay,
But the thing is, I have
okay,
turned off the fan. I can't turn on the AC because AC is not
okay.
on the power backup, and the fan produces lots of noise.
Yeah,
So,
but your audio is pretty clear right now.
so hopefully everything goes very well throughout the session.
Okay,
So
okay.
initially I thought of dropping a message for you, but finally then I realized that who knows that at last moment the power that comes back. But anyhow, we will go along this way only, and let's see how it works.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Let's see how it works out. Okay, ma'am. I think you should start by introducing yourself, or should I start?
I may take the lead, hardly matters, because
Okay.
we both are new to each other, and motive behind having these kind of sessions is common. Um,
Mhm.
Kunal, I'm Kawaljit Kaur. So far, I think you are familiar with my name, and I'm a very small scale, you can say. I shouldn't say YouTuber, but I have started my journey on YouTube with the motive of not only learning English, but to become inspiration for others also who
Oh,
might be hesitant, because actually I got inspiration from this platform only. I was initially quite hesitant. I'm
from
a
YouTube?
working professional. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm a working professional, and for the last 7 months, I'm working on my this learning, you may say, or not learning, just honing my communication skill. Because so far as English language is concerned, to some extent, we all have studied, who have just passed through that stage of schooling, college, and university kind of things. So the people like me who are working at this moment on this language, so most of us are working on our communication skills, I guess. Because and
Yes.
before uh, going along with this session with you, I had gone through one of your videos because I wanted to know about you. Before that, you are totally new person for me, and I
Okay.
realized that your education had been from the English medium school. So that way, I think your problem is a bit of lower scale as compared to mine, because in your case, you are well aware of the knowledge of the language, but problem with you is that you can't do it on the fly, right?
Yes, you got it
Then
accurately correct.
yeah, and when I started my journey 7 months back, I think I was lacking at both ends.
Okay.
Yeah,
So, may I ask, what was your schooling in? In which language was it?
actually, initial schooling was purely because that has happened in a government school, and majority of at that very time, now might be the scenario might have changed, that they might have incorporated English as as language in the government schools also. I'm not so sure. I have the idea that might be there is some a shift in the curriculum these days, but at that time all schooling was being done only in the regional language only. My English language started at my sixth standard.
So, if I may not be wrong, that your regional language was Punjabi.
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
I hail from Punjab,
Yes, I know a
Jalandhar.
bit too about your background as well because even I watch your videos. That's how I connected with you.
Okay, nice, nice. Okay.
And like I want to say that starting something from scratch is a very difficult task. As you said that my problem is small. I just need a bit of practice and I would be ready to go. But people who are starting from scratch, there's a YouTuber by the name of if you have come across her, that English with Dehati ma'am, and
Yeah, yeah,
I am just amazed to see the progress that she has done. I guess she is basically like the majority of the people who don't have the schooling done in English, nor they have an environment, and she is speaking better than me. I would consider her better than me, and I'm so speechless when I see her videos. I can't even explain how impressed I am with that channel, and I think that channel is an inspiration for many people who are starting from scratch, and which is a big problem in India. That if you want to get employed somewhere, you first of all you need to have good English, and to build that self confidence, to remove that self doubt is very important. And I think that that channel is so powerful that people can get inspired overnight. I think that, and she is doing a very good job. And when it comes to me, I just need a little bit more practice because I am a very shy person. I can't talk with strangers. I don't know how to do small talk, but slowly I'm learning. I'm, as you must have gone through my channel, that I have uh, from the there's a platform by the name of Clapingo. I started taking sessions on it a year back. So whatever confidence I have in myself is because it's from the 1 year itself. Apart from that, my schooling was in English, so everything we used to talk in English. So I know English, but I don't have the practice and the confidence to speak it. So that's
mhm.
all about it.
Yeah. This is the problem with the majority of the people over here. So far as that channel English is with Dehati ma'am is concerned, yeah, it's doing a wonderful job and it's going like anything. I agree with you. And the confidence of that lady is really Yashoda is commendable. No words
Right.
to explain it. And I think that majority of the people they resonate with her, and this is one of the reasons
Yes,
that because
they
when
can
your
relate with
channel
her more
grows,
quickly.
your confidence gets
Mm.
boosted up, right? So this is also one of the factors. When you get encouragement, when you get sort of somebody bucks you up, then that way you feel being elevated and you try to do more and more. So this is one of the factors which is going in her favor also.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to ask you some questions which I had noted down earlier before the sessions.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's very hard for me to come up with questions spontaneously, so sometimes I write them down. I saw that your
Nice.
channel has more than 1K subscribers. So
Uh,
is your channel monetized now, or
no,
is it
no,
in
no,
the
no. It's
process?
no, it's not at all monetized yet. No, it's quite
Okay,
far off
so
from monetization at the moment.
but you must have reached the threshold for qualification for monetization, isn't it?
No, no, still it is far off
Okay,
because
so
I
it
don't
must
get
be
enough number of views. It's not growing with that
you're
pace.
talking about the watch time.
Yeah, I'm talking about the watch time. Yeah,
Okay.
because it depends
Uh,
upon the number of views also, no? It depends upon the
yes,
number of
it
views.
depends on the number of views,
Like
obviously.
suppose your one video is on air and somebody is getting about like 2k views, and in my
Hmm.
case these are hardly 200 or 300 and sometimes less than 200. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah, but I've seen some of your videos have very good editing in it. It's very good. Like
Yeah,
those kind of editing,
actually,
even I
Kunal,
can't do it.
actually thing is that I have not started this channel with that intention that in the times to come I intend to become a
Yeah.
YouTuber and every YouTuber, because when I uploaded my first video onto YouTube, I did know that what this subscriber kind of thing or that figure that how it matters, and what is this watch time, how does it work, how the YouTubers they get a rise, the things get popped up. I knew nothing because I would like to explain it a bit more. When somebody who has reached a certain level and has so many of the degrees in his or her credit, then struggle for that person becomes quite harder. I belong to that very category. I was so much hesitant initially that how would the people take to me. I'm not saying it for the sake of saying like every second person normally says. It is a bitter truth which I have faced in my life. There was a time about for like if it has been my journey has been of 7 months, for 6 months nobody knew it around me, because I never dared to let anybody know that I'm doing this kind of exercise. Even in my family nobody knew that I'm having these kinds of sessions. Even you just named Clapingo and my journey started from Clapingo itself. My first video belongs to Clapingo, and my first session which I attended was I was coming back from my work to my hometown, and on the way, the time of the session that came up, I had to park my vehicle on the side of the road. Then I joined my first session. So my journey
Okay.
started that. Yeah, my journey started that way. So I knew nothing what this editing is done or what is it. Now at this very moment when you have just talked
Can
about
I
editing.
can I ask you a question that at that time when you were taking that session on by parking the vehicle on the road itself on the vehicle,
Yeah,
so were
inside
you
the
comfortable?
vehicle, we sitting on the driving seat, and it was altogether different kind of
Okay.
experience for me. I was not
Okay.
at all prepared for it, and for so many number of initial sessions, my heart would go pit to pat. Like suppose if tomorrow I'm going to say have my session, and the on the day of the session, the moment I used to got up in the morning, it was a kind of like I'm going to sit for the exam in the evening. So for during all the sessions,
Ma'am,
majority of
I
the
would like to
sessions
say
initially.
one thing. I would like to say one thing that in that moment itself, sometimes people decide not to take the session or take the session, and depending on the comfort zone of that person. And it's not a big deal to take a session in a car, but just because it's out of the person's comfort zone, sometimes people will not attend the session. So I think that you took a very brave step, and coming out of that comfort zone takes a lot of courage, and it's not a cup of tea for everybody. I would just like to
Actually,
say that.
Kunal, I had already wasted so much of the time in making decision to come on this kind of platform. Initially, I didn't know that these kinds of platforms they do exist, and I'm doing it for the sake of my growth only. So far as then, like in your case, the youngsters who are just to start their actual career or their life in a real sense, they might need it for so many reasons at their work front, for their progress, for their growth, and for their increments and for their rise in salaries, etc. Blah blah blah. In my case, none of this belongs to my reasons. I'm doing it for the sake of my growth, because I'm doing it for the sake of my growth. Believe me, when I took my first session, I took it like it's some innocent child, school going child, who is given the command and is made to sit on a particular place, and the child never dares to stand up and ask the teacher, may I go out? So
Yeah,
I
something relating to that. If you have some time, just go and watch my most popular video on my channel. You would see
okay.
the sheer nervousness on my face, and it's the most viewed video. It has 18K views, and you would
Oh,
see the difference between that Kunal and this Kunal. So it might give you some sort of an inspiration or anybody watching it. So that first
nice.
step is so hard, and to after that it becomes easier and easier. I would just say that, relating to the point that you just said, that the first step is very hard to take.
Yeah. So for me, at this very moment, this monetization, etc., hardly matters. I'm enjoying this journey, so I enjoy doing different stuff. Like suppose I don't know anything, something which is not known to me, but I have noticed it in your videos. Like we have now met for the first time though, and whenever I will go through your videos, and whenever I find that this guy has done something different, I would definitely then send a write up to that person. I want to learn this thing. So I have learned everything this way only from you people, from you all youngsters. So editing is a part of
Yes, ma'am.
that. You people have
Okay.
made me learn that how to get the things done. So I'm doing it for the sake of my enjoyment only.
Okay. So, coming a bit away from the topic of all this inspiration and discipline and becoming a better version of ourselves, I would like to ask a more casual question. That I would like to say that as you are from Punjab, I have been influenced a lot by the Punjabi people and the way people are there. Like in my view, Punjabi people are one of the most lively people. They live life to the fullest. They enjoy life, and I don't know. I am more influenced by Punjab than any other place in India. I would just like to say that.
Yeah,
It
they are
it may be through
vibrant.
the movies or music or anything.
To some extent, movies have also, played that role. But in fact, Punjabis are very lively, and of course, they live their life to the fullest. They enjoy to the fullest. I think, whatever they do it to the maximum extent. There is no limit for them. This is their positive aspect, you may say, and this is their negative point also at the same time.
Okay. Yeah, there's a very big negative aspect of Punjab in when it comes to all those kind of movies that we have seen, Urta Punjab, and a lot of heard about immigration. People are not getting
Yeah.
well. There's not the right amount of jobs that there needs to be in place. So people go to Canada and other foreign countries for that matter itself. Yeah, there is some dark side to it. I won't deny that. And
These
I had
days,
list.
Punjabis are identified by Canada. Punjabis
Yeah,
mean
somewhat,
Canada.
somewhat it is.
Mm.
Somewhat it is.
Yeah, synonym for the Punjabis, Canada.
Yeah, and no part in India is more interested in going abroad than the people of Punjab.
There are
It's
no jobs for the people over here. And we don't have big industries in Punjab also because Punjab is known as it's famous for agriculture only. So this could
yes,
have been one of the reasons. And even the youth from the rural areas, the the sons of the big, you can say, landlords, they don't want to go ahead with their parental or ancestral, this profile. They want to see the world on the other side. So everybody is migrating abroad to chase their dreams because, and globalization has affected, uh, you can say, impacted a lot on the mindset. Globalization is one of the reasons. Movies are there. Then this social media, everything has played a role, and this is and collectively now Punjab has come up at that very level that in Punjab, many of the villages they are inhabited by just you can say the people who just take care of the big houses, palatial houses, but you won't find the youth here. Only the either the big palatial houses are inhabited by the old parents sitting
okay,
living alone there, and the youth they have migrated to the foreign land, maybe to US,
okay.
to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere wherever they find the possibility, and they are
Okay.
migrating, and we don't see any possibility that in a year or 2 years and 3 years in the coming 5 years we would see any pause. No, no such sign is visible at the moment.
Ma'am, I had one more question. I think this question plays a very vital role in everybody's life. That what is their purpose in life? Like, what is the big picture that they want to achieve? Or sometimes people don't even have it. They are like we just want to go with the flow of the events that are happening in our life. We don't have any big ambitions or something of that sort. So, what about you, ma'am?
This go with the flow is, of course, one factor because when one member in the family goes, though everybody is well settled, they are landlords, they are having huge property. But among us, the cousins, if one is gone, another would follow the same pattern. He has gone, I also want to go. Similar is with the heads of the family. His son has gone, his daughter has gone. Now I will sell my property, my land, some part patch of my land. I will also send my son abroad. Just to, I mean, this kind of comparisons these people make, especially
Okay.
not only rural background, everywhere I think. And if we talk about the educated youth who are highly educated, Kunal, there are no jobs for them, then they would prefer to join the universities when they are studying, and whenever they come in job they would prefer the corporate sector where they would get the opportunities to go abroad for some internship, or like
Okay.
you see there is a trend in the universities to you spend 2 years here and the third abroad. So this is a via media they are following to to
Yeah,
chase their dreams.
yeah, there is a culture, it's a cultural thing in our country that people love abroad more than working in our country, in the country itself.
No, I won't go by your words because we are talking their focus at the moment on Punjab only. In Punjab, in a reality, there are no jobs for the youth. If out of 100, one who is a topper is getting the job, suppose you are the topper, and if you succeed in getting the job, next question is how much you are paid. They are underpaid. They are not, and okay, pay is another factor. Then the candidate is
But you
supposed
must
to
be
work
talking
for
about government jobs, right? Underpaid
everywhere.
is
No,
in private
no,
sector
not
as well.
only government. Similar is scenario in the private sector. Now, private sector has started following the same pattern because they have the plea. If the government is not giving you this thing, why should we should do? They have started following the same pattern.
Yeah.
Long back was scenario was different, that there were the people used to come towards the private jobs. Now, if we have to do the comparison in the current scenario, even today, in today's scenario, government sector is giving a bit better than the private sector. But again, there are not much jobs for the youth. This is the biggest reason. In Punjab, in every family, one member, one young boy or girl has gone abroad or is about to go abroad or will go abroad.
Okay, so my next question was that if, let's say, a person in Punjab got a job in some other state, would he be willing to go to that state, or still he would have that craze of moving abroad?
No, no. There is some chunk of people, because whenever, especially I would take the example of the corporate sector, because Jalandhar is a small town kind of city. Punjab itself, you take in totality, whenever they get they do MBAs or this kind of degree, they have to go to some other city, because in Punjab there is no scope. So they move to Bangalore or Hyderabad, and of course they do their jobs there. Many of them, they settle down there, but again, some chunk of the people, though they go there, but after a number of years, you would get to know that their company, or through their company, they moved abroad. So
Okay.
this is a sort of via media, you can say also. Yes, of course, there is all exceptions are always there.
Okay, ma'am. Got to learn a lot about the thinking of Punjab. I was just saying that we have exceeded 25 minutes having this conversation.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
already.
what was your experience on having this conversation? We should wind it up because it should not become very long.
Hmm. Kunal, in general, because for me now, all the sessions, because I take everything seriously and I enjoy talking to people. Not only enjoy talking to people, if you have gone through my videos, you would listen to it repeatedly. I love to know about the person who is on the other side. So whenever I am talking to the person, I used to forget to focus on my conversation. I used to forget that my sole purpose to have these kinds of conversation is to focus on my language, to make it better, to improve it. And before the sessions, a number of times, sometimes I have that, okay, this time I'm not going to use these words. I would this time try some different word to hone my skills. But I don't know. I always forget, because I get engrossed into the conversation. I get engrossed into
Actually,
the context of
I
the
think I
conversation.
think uh, I think it's not a very big problem. The problem that you're talking about is MTI, that is the mother tongue influence, that is the Punjabi. Like you just used a word right now instead of matter. Matter something you told in a very Punjabi tone. So I think that it will. Uh, so I think that over time it will become more refined, and I think one should not emphasize a lot on, and you should person should not be in guilt always that I did mistake on that session, or I did not use that word pronounce that word correctly. I think that it takes gradual process, and progress takes a lot of time. And with time, I think eventually you will become the person that you are aspiring to be. And I think that is the only way to become good at whatever you are doing.
Yeah. So that way I'm not in any race. I'm
Yes,
running alone.
yes, that's a good that's a good mental state to be in, because nowadays there's a lot of envy, jealousy. Regardless of the fact, people say that it's not there, but as humans, everybody has it. Everybody is jealous to some extent. Some are very they can't control that feeling. Some can control it, so they are more ahead in life. But everybody has that dark side to the human aspect, right? So it's just about what kind of mental state that person is in. And like you said, you're running alone, so you don't have that thing at the back of your head that that person might get ahead of me, that person is better than me. So
Yeah.
I think in today's world, if a person has a good mental state, that person has won the game of life.
Yeah,
What do you
you are
think,
right.
ma'am?
Yes, of course. Because both the things are important, your physical health and your mental health. Only then you can
Yes.
make, you can succeed in life. You can become a better decision maker also. So, if somebody succeeds in achieving it, in getting it, I think that is the sole purpose of life.
Yes.
I go this way only. I try to.
Okay, ma'am.
I try to. Yeah.
Okay, it's been more than half an hour. So let's wind this session up because let's
Yes.
not make it longer. If you want to have a conversation, we can surely do it another time. And it was great talking to you, ma'am. I got to learn a lot from you about a lot of things about what the people are thinking in different parts of the world. And it was a great pleasure.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, Kunal. We will definitely try to have another session because now I realize that I haven't asked you anything
No problem,
about
ma'am.
you.
It sometimes becomes like this. Some people talk a lot, and I sometimes have this. Sometimes I'm over good that I let the other person speak. I don't interrupt in between. Sometimes it becomes as a disadvantage for me, and
So
sometimes
at
I should.
this very moment, you are at the disadvantages. And
No, ma'am. It's not a disadvantage. It's a balance of both, I think.
okay,
And
nice.
I think that I, before the session, I must confess that I was the person who was thinking that I must have enough questions to ask to ma'am so that the session does not become boring or she, she does not feel like it's a one-sided conversation at any point of time.
Okay. So that way it went very well, I
Yes, ma'am.
must say.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Kunal. Thank you. I always learn a lot from you people, and I always say that for me, whatever I do, and to whosoever the person is on the other side, it always ends up giving me something. So definitely, I have
Yes,
learned
ma'am.
so much of the stuff that I will, when I will sit alone, then I will think about this session, and so definitely, so much will come out of it.
Okay.
So thank you very much. Stay blessed.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye bye. You too.
Bye.